Hey y'all, I'm Ron Woodson repping them AI Tekkie Boys at AITekkieBoys.com. Here to bring you yet another banging AI Tekkie Boys custom GPT.
Ever feel like drowning in data? Yeah, reports, dashboards, metrics everywhere. But when you need to actually use it to make smart decisions, it's like you're stranded.
I know exactly what you mean.
Today, we're diving into something pretty amazing, a custom AI called Nova Insight. And get this, it's made to give you marketing advice, but with a twist. It's brutally honest.
Yeah. It's kind of wild how Nova Insight changes things up. We're so used to AI being all algorithms and objective, But Nova brings this directness. Some might even call it bluntness. It's meant to shake things up a bit.
So the big question is, can that kind of unvarnished truth from an AI actually help us make better marketing decisions?
That's what we're here to find out. So for Nova, they trained it on decades worth of marketing data. And historical case studies, too.
Whoa. So we're not talking about some basic AI that just skimmed a few articles online. This thing has been studying marketing for years.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But how do you even start creating an AI that's both brutally honest and actually helpful? You don't want it to just be a robot shooting down every idea.
Right. That was the challenge. It's like finding that sweet spot between a drill sergeant pushing you to your limits and a mentor who wants to help you grow.
I like that analogy.
The creators of Nova had to be super careful with how they prompted it and the questions they asked. They were basically shaping its personality through training.
That's fascinating. It's like they were raising a child almost.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of results, how did Nova actually do? Did it live up to all the hype?
It did, and in ways that even surprised the creators. For example, there was this team working on a product launch. They were convinced that influencer marketing on this one platform was going to be the key to success. But Nova dug into the historical data and found a pattern. That specific type of influencer marketing was actually giving diminishing returns.
Oh, wow. So Nova could see past the hype and identify a trend that was fading, even though everyone in the industry still thought it was hot.
Exactly. And that's where the helpful part comes in. Nova didn't just say, nope, influencer marketing is dead, you're doomed.
Yeah.
It actually suggested a more targeted approach, focusing on building relationships with micro-influencers who had a genuine connection to the product.
So it gave a nuanced solution, not just a blanket criticism. That's impressive.
And it gets even better. Nova went a step further and suggested exploring a completely untapped market, the growing demographic of eco-conscious consumers over 55. This was a group that most companies had just overlooked, assuming they weren't interested in new products.
I love that Nova's basically saying, hey, everyone's chasing the shiny new thing, but there's a gold mine in places nobody's even looking.
That's a great way to put it. And the really remarkable thing is that Nova's predictions were compared to standard forecasting models, and Nova's predictions were just way more accurate and actionable.
Okay, so it's not just about being brutally honest. It's about being incredibly smart and insightful.
Exactly.
I'm really starting to see the potential here. But did Nova ever, get anything wrong?
Well, like any AI, Nova's not perfect. It relies on the data it's been given, and sometimes that data might be incomplete or biased. There was one case where Nova actually identified a historical marketing blunder, and it almost perfectly mirrored what a team was doing at that very moment.
Wait, you're saying Nova was like, hold on, you're about to repeat a mistake from the past?
It was something like that. Nova could draw these crazy parallels and warn the team about potential pitfalls they hadn't even thought about.
Wow. It's like having a time-traveling marketing consultant.
Right.
Incredible.
Right.
So just by analyzing data, Nova can help marketers avoid making the same mistakes others have made.
Exactly. It's about learning from history and using those lessons to make better decisions now.
We've seen how it can analyze trends, make predictions, even offer some pretty blunt advice.
It has been quite a journey.
And now we're at that big question. What does the rise of AI like Nova actually mean for human marketers?
Yeah, where do we fit in?
Are we all going to be replaced by robots? Should I start updating my resume?
I think it's important to remember AI is a tool at the end of the day. Just like a hammer doesn't replace a carpenter, AI doesn't replace a marketer.
Okay. So instead of being afraid of it, we should think about how to use it to make us better.
Exactly. AI can handle those repetitive tasks, like sifting through mountains of data and finding patterns, things that would take humans forever. And that frees up marketers to focus on what we're good at: strategy, creativity, building relationships with customers.
So it's not about replacing our skills. It's more like amplifying them, like having a superpowered assistant who does all the grunt work so we can focus on the big picture.
Yeah. That's a great way to put it. And this shift towards AI-assisted marketing is already happening. Companies are using AI to personalize experiences, automate campaigns, generate more targeted content.
So it's not just a futuristic concept. It's happening now.
Oh, absolutely. And those who are slow to adapt might get left behind. But here's the interesting thing. This doesn't mean we don't need human marketers anymore. Actually, the opposite is true.
Really? How so?
The rise of AI is actually creating new opportunities for marketers, those who can use these technologies and integrate them into their work. There's a huge demand for people who understand the technical side of AI, but also the nuances of human behavior.
So you need both. It's not enough to just be a data whiz or a creative genius.
Yeah.
You have to be able to bridge that gap, connect the analytical power of AI with that human touch.
Exactly. And that's where the real magic happens. When you combine those data-driven insights from AI with human creativity and empathy, you create amazing customer experiences that really stand out.
So instead of fearing AI, we should see it as a chance to level up.
It's exactly embrace the future. AI isn't a threat. It's a tool that can help us in this constantly changing world of marketing.
That makes me feel a lot more optimistic about the future of marketing. But before we wrap up, I'm curious about Nova specifically. We've talked about its capabilities, but are there any limitations? Is there anything it can't do?
It's important to remember that Nova, like all AIs, is only as good as the data it's trained on. It can identify patterns, make predictions, but it can't fully replace human intuition or really understand the complexities of human emotion.
Right, so it's not a mind reader. You can't predict every single thing a customer will do.
Exactly. And that's why human judgment is still so important. AI can give us insights and recommendations, but ultimately we make the decisions. Decisions that align with our brand and our goals.
It's like having a brilliant strategist on your team, but one who still needs guidance from a human leader.
Exactly. And that's the key takeaway here. AI is powerful, but it doesn't replace human ingenuity, creativity, and empathy. The future of marketing belongs to those who can embrace both the human and the artificial, creating this blend that drives results and builds real connections.